All right, good morning everyone. Welcome to our presentation on Master Data Management Simplified. And my name is Brad Bonner. I'm the Business Intelligence Center of Excellence Lead at CTS. Before we get started, I want to review a few housekeeping items and let you know how you can participate in today's session. I'm taking a screenshot here to show you an example of the attendee interface. You should see something that looks like this on your own computer desktop in the upper right-hand corner. You joined today's webinar listening through your computer speaker system by default. This means if you can hear music through your computer, you'll be able to hear the presentation. If you would like to call in using the phone, just locate your audio pane and select Use Telephone. The dial-in information and access code will then be displayed. You also have the ability to ask questions using your questions pane. Simply type in your question and click Send. At the end of the presentation, we'll do a Q&A session and take as many questions as we have time for. Any feedback or comments can be emailed to info@askcts.com or just visit our website. Do we have any questions at this time? Okay, well, we will go ahead and get started. First, I just want to give you a quick overview of CTS and our Business Intelligence Center of Excellence. CTS is a regional IT professional services firm that was established in 1993. We currently have 5 offices throughout the Southeast, and we'll be opening our 6th office this fall in Nashville. We have over 200 employees, and we perform work for over 200 clients in various industries. Our Business Intelligence Center of Excellence is charged with delivering BI solutions, managing our training, sharing knowledge, and being the all-around thought leaders for BI within CTS. The BI COE has several service offerings within the BI and data warehousing space. We cover what's considered traditional BI and data warehousing, data integration, and reporting and analytics. In recent years, data quality and master data management has become more critical for organizations, and we have service offerings to help clients within these areas also. Our technology expertise spans several of the major BI vendors, including IBM, Microsoft, and Oracle. Today we're going to focus on master data management as it's delivered through Microsoft's Master Data Services 2012. Our presenter today is Serena Benefield. She is a BI consultant at CTS and has extensive experience working with the Microsoft BI stack. She's the key member within the CTS MDM research team that's investigating scalable architectures with SQL, SSIS, MDS, and the Microsoft data quality tool DQS. Today she's going to share some of her insights and break down MDM and how it's implemented within MDS.
Thank you for the introduction. As Brad said, my name is Serena Benefield, and I'd first like to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to attend our webinar. Hopefully by the end of this presentation, you'll have a better understanding of Master Data Services and its capabilities and how it can relate to you and your business. We would like to utilize the polling feature throughout this presentation to get a better feel for your knowledge on master data. So at this time, if you'll just take a moment to answer the poll question being sent to you right now.
Okay, so our first polling question, and we're just going to take a minute to let you guys provide an answer here. How familiar are you with Master Data Services? Are you currently using it? Are you in the process of implementing MDS within your organization? Or are you simply just evaluating MDS right now and considering that as a future project within your organization? Okay, looks like everyone's evaluating MDS right now, and a few of you are currently using it. That's great. All right, we'll continue on now with the presentation.
Okay. As some of you may already know, master data is a set of data objects that are in the center of business activities such as customers, which could be a person or an organization that buys your goods or services that you render. Products are items that you've refined for sale, which can include hardware, software, or even a skill set. And locations. These can be particular places such as multiple outlets to sell your products or even the physical locations of your clients. Other business activities can include, but are not limited to, cost centers, assets, and tasks. Each of these data objects at the center of your business require continuous quality management, also referred to as TQM. TQM is the approach that seeks to improve quality and performance, which will meet or exceed customer expectations. They also include your central curation or continuous management of data, ease of access for business users, and effective sharing of your produced and consumed objects, which will fall into place if you're utilizing your business requirements. What is master data? Microsoft defines master data services as an enterprise master data management and hierarchy management solution that tackles the rapidly escalating issue of hierarchy and master data coordination, integration, and reconciliation that all enterprises face with each incremental year of system evolution. But what does that actually mean? A simplified way to think about master data is by relating master data to the nouns, or the people, the places, and the things that are important to you and your business. Some of the most important forces that influence master data are decay, which is when the world changes around the data. At one point, your customer data was in the system correctly when the client moved. When the client moved, where did you send those bills or appointment reminders? The next force that influences master data is conflict. This is when duplicate data is introduced into the system. For instance, a customer visits your downtown location and gets entered into the system with a client number. The same day, they enter another one of your establishments and your data hasn't been replicated yet, and the customer is re-entered into the system with all of the same information but a new customer ID. The next factor is corruption. This happens when established, accurate, and validated data is changed in some way that invalidates it. For instance, the price of your products are updated in the system and a decimal point is put out of place. So now your number one selling product price has just been marked up from its original price of $100 to the new incorrect value of $1,000. And now your clients are no longer calling for your service. The last factor is inconsistency. This can happen when data is formed in unpredictable, erratic, or incompatible ways. Naming conventions are a common example of this. When IT refers to FTP as file transfer protocol, where finance sees this as funds transfer pricing, or this can also be when data types aren't matching throughout the system, and this becomes messy and a lot of times unbearable. Master Data Services, or MDS, was released with the knowledge of these forces that impact your master data for the purpose of simplifying the process of master data management. Master Data Services Configuration Manager is the tool that you use to create or configure a master data service database. After you create a database, you can use Master Data Services Configuration Manager to create a web application and enable integration with the data quality services. Finally, you can use Master Data Services Configuration Manager to associate an MDS database with an MDS web application. You can also use Master Data Services Configuration Manager to specify settings for your MDS installation. For example, determine how frequently data is loaded, whether that be multiple times a day or once a day, perhaps twice a day, or how often validation emails are sent. Will they be sent out on every data refresh or just at the start or end of your business day? The Configuration Manager opens directly after successful installation of Master Data Services. There are tutorials available to install and set up the appropriate permissions needed for Master Data Services. One thing to note is until the appropriate permissions are set up, only the account that will have permissions to MDS is the account you specified during the initial installation. At this time, we'd like to extend you the opportunity to participate in our second poll.
Okay. So our second poll question for you today, we're just wondering if you are currently implementing MDM within your organization, what is the timeline for that completion? We'd just like to know what the timeline is for you. Have you not planned one, or is that going to be within 3 to 6 months, or 6 to 12 months, or are you looking at it as a long-term goal that you would like to achieve within your company? Okay. So most people haven't done that. That's pretty much what we expected. It seems to be a newer trend within BI. So we'll go ahead and we'll continue now.
Master Data Manager is a web application hosted by Internet Information Services, or IIS. MDM has the objective of producing processes for collecting, aggregating, matching, consolidating, quality assuring, persisting, and distributing these types of data throughout an organization. By defining these processes using the MDM tool, you ensure consistency and control in the ongoing maintenance and application use of this information. Different types of master data can include your customer data, or the name, contact details, date of birth, the locality data, physical address, or postal address, or geographical data, product data, which is item numbers or billing materials and product codes, employee data, their employee numbers, their roles, and their placement in your organizational structure, or your partner data, the partner's name, classification. So now we'll talk about web services. Developers need a tool to extend the functionality of MBS and to develop their own solution. And a web service is a good way to do that. This industry standard makes it easier for applications to interoperate, and it's easier for IT to develop, support, and maintain. Also, MBS uses this web service for its internal functionality, so it's not just an add-on. It's an inherently service-oriented product that really helps tie together the data in a user-friendly fashion. Some questions commonly asked are, why would you want to call a web service directly, and why not just use the tools provided right out of the box? Well, the web service gives you the ability to utilize the development tools that IT typically uses and puts them into the hands of your business users. You can create a more business, user-friendly application that uses business terms instead of development terms. Remember that FTP naming convention? You can also limit access to the unauthorized operations. For instance, business users shouldn't have access to development tools that allow them to delete the entire model. With the web service, you can limit their access to functionality you know they need and try to prohibit them from making fatal mistakes. Just like all software solutions, MBS has some limitations. For example, not all of the functionality is exposed via the web service. For instance, you can't create a model from scratch. You can also not create or change the workflows, and you can't create new views to pull in the data that you haven't previously extracted before. The intent is not to allow you to create a model from scratch. Rather, it's to take a previously developed model and move some of the maintenance tasks to the business side so the business users don't have to wait for IT to make small changes to the model. Things you can do with the web service include adding, editing, or deleting entities and entity members and business rules. So you have a new product code. You can create an application that allows your business users to enter the new product code as a valid entity member. They can also add business rules to ensure the code is valid, the purchase amount is valid, and the approval chains are followed. Your business users can also manage their own users. So if someone joins their team, they can ramp up a lot faster without having to wait for an IT developer who knows MDM. So how would you go about implementing your custom application? Well, before you even think about using web services, you should ensure that your MDS architecture is well thought out. Your data sources and output views are defined, and a day-to-day administration tasks are identified. Then brainstorm to think of ways to make the process easier. Would it help if business users could control access by their teams? Would they need to introduce their own codes? If so, would the business rules change, or would the workflow also change, meaning we've got to get IT involved anyway? Think through all of these scenarios and identify business cases where the web service adds value. Also, confirm that it does. In fact, expose the functionality that you need. Microsoft documentation isn't always clear, so it may be wise to create a proof of concept to demonstrate that you can extract and manipulate the data, and that there are sample solutions available online to help your developers get started. After that, identify the users who will use the new application. Prototype the new screens and get them approved. Finally, you're ready to start developing your new solution. Master Data Services in SQL Server Denali now includes an Excel add-in that allows MDS users to add and update data that exists within Master Data Services. At a high level, the following functionality is available within the MDS add-in. Retrieve members from a master data entity, add or update members including annotations, and publish the changes back to MDS, create entities in MDS if you have sufficient permissions, and running your business rules. The Excel add-in does not contain all the functionality available within Master Data Manager, but provides an interface that clearly Excel-based data stewards will be very comfortable with. It's also much easier to do bulk updates in the Excel front end when compared to the web front end. At this time, let's take a moment to send out our final poll question.
Okay, so our final question is there an initiative in your organization to use a centralized data repository? We're looking to know if you currently have a centralized data repository, if a project exists for MDM but it's not been completed, or you haven't moved to a central data repository but you're going to do that pretty soon. We'll just take a few more seconds and let all the responses come in. All right. Just similar to before, which is kind of what we expected there. A lot of people are looking to do that pretty soon. All right, and continuing on.
Now let's step back and take a look at the big picture. We've learned about how IT can use development tools to configure and manage master data. All of that information is stored in the MDS database, which you see in the middle of the diagram. It can also be used, IT can also use Microsoft Visual Studios to create custom applications that access the MDM web service, and it puts more functionality into the hands of your business users. The business can also manipulate the master data via Excel. The MDS database is constantly kept up to date, typically by using SSIS to pull source data into MDS staging tables. Finally, IT creates views so that your consumer systems have access to the clean master data. These consumer systems can be read-only so that master data is managed through MDS. IT can also set up synchronization from the consumer systems. Using this architecture, business users can alter master data in the consumer systems as they did before MDS existed. MDS will resynchronize the data and resolve any conflicts. There are a number of options on the market to manage your master data. We here at CTS have a dedicated research team and growing staff of consultants in our Business Intelligence Center of Excellence. Our team provides solutions utilizing many different types of tools, such as master data, Informatica, Oracle, and other SQL Server offerings to solve the issues of the ever-expanding data management in today's business market. We're here to answer any questions that you may have on determining the correct solution for you. At this time, we'll take any questions.
All right, so we said earlier we would do a bit of Q&A at the end, so we've collected several questions here. We'll go ahead and we'll answer a few of these, and if we don't get to them, we'll make sure that we send out an email later on with answers to your questions. So, Serena, the first question that came in is MDS included in the 2012 license of SQL Server?
Yes, Brad, it is. By utilizing the 2012 installation wizard, you can install the feature if you have the Enterprise or Developer BI editions.
Okay. All right, let's see. Our next question is, how do you handle security for new users?
So all security in MDM is all role-based, similar to SQL Server. Different users can have different levels of access in MDM.
All right. And our third question is, what does an installation effort consist of?
So to go through the installation, there's 4 key steps. You want to verify the installation requirements, which is your SQL Server setup, your web application, web services, and your MDS database. You'll want to configure your required roles, your role services and features. Then you'll run your SQL Server setup. The wizard, will walk you through setting up your folders and your locations, registering your MDS assemblies, and installing the configuration manager. But one thing to note is that MDS is not supported as part of a clustered instance installation.
Okay.
And then finally, you have your post-installation tasks, and there are a number of tutorials to walk you through all of those tasks.
Okay. All right. Well, that's about all the time. We planned 25 to 30 minutes there, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I just want to remind everyone that if you know someone that could not attend but they think that this would be useful, we're going to put this we're recording this webcast right now, and we're going to put it out on our website in the next day or two. So I appreciate it, and thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you.